Alright, the Pixel 6a has been out for more than 6 months and I'm still making a bold claim in 2023 that it has been one of the best smartphones I've seen in the last 6 months, with or around the same price range. So why Pixel? Why not the latest Honor X9a, Realme 10 Pro Plus, Nothing Phone 1 or any other Samsung A series, Vivo, OnePlus or Xiaomi phone? Some people even told me it's a 6 months old phone. I asked them, give me your recommendation. And honestly, those were not even recommendations, which they were not even looking for their own selves. So I asked them, what is the best thing you're looking in a smartphone? Is it good performance, a good battery life or a good looking display? And most of them said, camera. Then why should I go for a phone which is having a so-called 48 megapixel or 108 megapixel camera, but not better results? Let me tell you why I chose the Pixel 6a. It's just not the camera, but sure there are something else as well. So guys, before we dive in any further, if any of you guys are watching me for the first time, my name is Salim, welcome to my channel. So, starting with the design, the Pixel 6a doesn't look much different from its sibling like the Pixel 6 and 7 lineups. Yes, it's smaller in size, but retains a chunky horizontal camera bar, which stretches across the entire width of the phone. While the front is covered with a generic old Corning Gorilla Glass 3, which is fine if you're using a screen protector. But in the rear, Google says the Pixel 6a has a thermoform composite, aka plastic, which doesn't have any sort of scratch resistance, but I'm happy to say that at least the frame is made of aluminum, which is sweet. Also, the Pixel 6a is IP67 rated against dust and water resistance, which means it should survive a depth of 1 meter for up to 30 minutes. And also the phone comes in 3 colors, sage, charcoal and chalk white. Also this time the fingerprint sensor has been placed under the screen, which I found it to be quite inconsistent. And also sometimes a message would appear on the screen asking me to hold my thumb in place for a little bit longer to get it unlocked, which wasn't ideal. To top it all, this is now the 3rd year since Google last incorporated face unlocks. So we don't have a face unlock mode, which wasn't secure anyways, but if it was available, it would be a nice addition. But if you don't want to unlock your device with fingerprint always, there is a smart lock feature which has got 3 options: on body detection, trust places or trust devices, and you can turn all of them or any of them as you like. Let's say you're holding your phone while walking or running. It can stay unlocked for up to 4 hours or until you put it down, or with any of your trusted locations like when you're at home, office space or any other trusted place. Also, you can add any of your trusted devices like your car Bluetooth, your smartwatch or headphones. So at least it would help you a bit rather than always unlocking it with the fingerprint. The Pixel 6a's display is the smallest of the Pixel phones with a 6.1-inch display size. It's still an HDR certified OLED panel with a 60Hz refresh rate and a pixel density of 429 ppi. While the bezels are only slightly thicker on the bottom edges, which is not really concerning your view. Also, the 60Hz refresh rate is not what we expect these days. But to be honest, with this screen size, I didn't feel it much. Swiping and scrolling has been kind of smooth and it didn't look much visible while multitasking, playing usual 60Hz games, scrolling to your newsfeed or social media. Also, there are only 3 display modes: natural, boosted and adaptive. And I'm a guy who uses P3 Gamma mode more often, but I'm happy to say it's still really a good looking display. However, the maximum brightness measured around almost 850 nits in auto mode, while with the manual slider it peaked around 500 nits, which is respectable. Also, the haptic feedback has also improved from previous generation. It's not tight and firm with typing, unlocking with fingerprints, scrolling or navigating in the UI. It's also strong with incoming notifications and phone calls. This time, with the Pixel 6a, Google has introduced their own homebrew tensor processor, which is a 5nm octa-core chipset which works alongside with 6GB of LPDDR5 RAM with only one storage size of 128GB with UFS 3.1 storage, and also note the storage is not expandable via the SD card. The Tensor chipset CPU performance is excellent and is comparable with the Snapdragon 888. I would not call it a mid-tier because it's really a good performing chipset. However, we have seen many manufacturers last year even downgraded their chipset. With that comparison, it's above a mid-tier chipset. I also didn't feel any throttling when it's on heavy graphical usage, and the gaming performance has taken even a greater leap forward. Although the Pixel 6a 60Hz screen lets the side down, but the 6a is capable of producing higher frame rates in different games. 60 FPS is all you can possibly hope to achieve on a 60Hz display. Even with video recording, the thermal performance were quite good, and it won't significantly drop down that easily. Even on heavy usage, the CPU performed somewhere around 85% of its capacity, which is ideal. The Pixel 6a is of course a 5G phone. It comes with millimeter wave and sub-6 band. The good thing is it has got all the bands which are currently active worldwide. Battery life is also very good. The Pixel 6a has a 4410 mAh battery size, even though I found the Tensor chipset to be power hungry, but the Pixel 6a's battery life is amazing. It approximately can give you 8 to 8.5 hours screen on time on heavy usage, and that should be enough to last you nearly a day and a half on a full charge. But there is a bummer too. It only supports 18 watt of charging speed, which can charge your phone approximately from 0 to 100% in about 2 hours. So it's a bit disappointing but manageable because the battery life is quite good. On the software side, the Pixel devices really come on their own. They are usually the first Android phones to receive updates and security patches. And the good thing is we get 3 years of major Android updates and 5 years of security updates, which means the Pixel 6a will be eligible to major Android updates till July 2025 and security updates until July 2027. The software is also quite clean, purely no skins, no bloatwares or any third-party apps pre-installed. And the UI is called Material U, with a list of new customizable app icons, widgets and color schemes. There's also a lot of choices here, and you can even match the color and style of the Google app icons on the home screen with your own chosen theme. There is also a handful of smaller quality of life changes too. Especially I really like the Recorder app, which does live translating and it's quite accurate. You can record your live transcript, save it, and later if you want to split it, you can split your transcript as well. Alright, now let's talk about the part where Google phones always shine, and that's the cameras. I was so excited to test the Pixel 6a cameras because I previously tested the Google Pixel 4 and it was one of the best smartphone cameras at that time. And trust me, the shots taken with the Pixel 6a whether in daytime or nighttime were too good and are way well above my expectation, especially with the ultra-wide lens. In the smartphone industry, many of the manufacturers never focus on the ultra-wide angle lens. If you look on any Android smartphone, they were always lacking with the ultra-wide lens and the quality was poor. I know, here's not a lot that's new in terms of camera hardware. It has got the same primary camera of 12.2 megapixel with the same sensor which was previously used by the Pixel 4a 5G and Pixel 5, while the 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens is identical to one found in the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, and in the front there is an 8 megapixel selfie camera. So let's start with the primary camera shots, which were simply brilliant. The best thing I like is the color balance and how accurate is the shot to the scene. While Pixel phones tend to have a slightly cooler tones, but the pictures are too realistic. Whether you shoot them in darker environment, the sky rendition, the colors, the HDR processing, sharpness, skin tones, exposures all have been on par and accurate. Let me show you the shot taken here. Look at the sky. It's pitch black and the colors to the scene were accurate. And when you look at my shirt or the color of the dome, it is what you see from your naked eyes. Also, the same trend continues with the ultra-wide angle lens. As I said earlier, I never seen ultra-wide angle lens in this price to be called good or fair at least. And in fact, I found many of the ultra-wide angle lens to be very weak. And when you switch the shots from the main to ultra-wide, you see a shift in the color temperatures. But here, with the Pixel 6a, we don't see that color shifting that often. Just look at this shot from the main camera. And now look at the shot taken with ultra-wide. The color of the dome and the sky is similar. And just look at the leaves, the HDR processing is on point. Even though it was windy, still the Pixel 6a captured it very well. I was surprised with the shots taken in the night time. Yes, you need to be steady and stationary to take a good shot. And when you see the results, you just start loving your decision that you took one of the best smartphones money can buy. See this shot. I was happy and delighted to see the result. Just look at the sky rendition, the skin tones, the color accuracy, also overall the HDR processing. The shot is so balanced, it makes you take more and more pictures. The zoom shots are also too good, and I have never seen such clean digitally zoomed shots. Whether you take it on 2x or 7x, they are quite sharp. Here Google does the magic with its processing, whether they are taken in daytime or in the night. The shots in the night look slightly softer on the edges, but I have no complaint whatsoever. Keep in mind these are digitally zoomed shots, and I think they are unrivaled. The only shots I would say I'm just fine is when it comes to the portrait mode, especially when it comes to the edge detection. I mean, shots are fine when it comes to the colors, HDR, skin tones, but they are lacking in edge detection, and overall the shots are fine comparing to some of the rivals. But I will still say don't expect too much from the portrait mode. I'm not saying they are bad or fair, they are just fine and sometimes they are just good. Switching to front facing camera, the shots were good. I felt it has slight bit of warmer tones, but overall the colors, HDR processing, sharpness were good. And it takes, I would say, good selfies. And also the portrait mode pictures were good, but I felt the edge detection was extra sharp in the corners and sometimes some areas it was soft also. Also, let me tell you one more interesting thing. The Google Pixel 6a has won the best smartphone camera in the blind camera test. And it's not a surprise because it's a very capable smartphone camera. And if you guys want to watch the full video of the blind camera test from MKBHD, I will link it down below. When it comes to the videos, the Google Pixel 6a can shoot up to 4K 60 from the primary, and videos were good and they were fairly stabilized. Colors looked natural, HDR processing was on par, it was also retaining good highlights, shadows and sharpness. But colors were in some scenarios balanced and sometimes I would say unnatural. But overall the video quality was too good. While with ultra wide angle lens, it can record 4K 30 frames per second and the video quality was also good. It was also retaining good highlights, shadows and sharpness. But in the night time, it was slightly softer and noisy on the edges. But to my taste, it was still way better than the videos taken from the other smartphones and I would rate it excellent. When it comes to the front facing camera, it can record 1080p at 30 frames per second and I would say it's good in the daytime. But in the darker environment, the video gets grainy. I would suggest you to switch on the screen illumination to get a better selfie video. So overall the selfie video from the front facing camera is also good. The one interesting feature I like, and I would say its pixel specific feature, is the magic eraser, which allows you to digitally remove people or objects from the background. And honestly, it's a very good feature. I really enjoyed it, but it's not always accurate. But still it gives you an option to remove unwanted objects or people from the background. Also there is real tone, which is baked into Google's camera's algorithms and helps to produce more natural looking skin tones in portrait images. To sum it up all, the Google Pixel 6a is still a brilliant classy phone even after 6 months. The reason is it has excellent cameras, good performing chipset, a good software and a good battery life. The only few concerns I have is the charging speed and the 60Hz refresh rate, which I didn't feel it much. As I said earlier in the video, many smartphone manufacturers aren't giving you a polished product. Some focus on megapixels, some focus on the screen, some focus on the new looking design. But the Pixel at this price point, which is now retailing around a bargain price of $350 in many regions, I still think it's the best phone money can buy. The only issue is the Pixel phone is not available in every country. But if it's available, I would highly recommend you to get one if your budget is less than $500. And with that guys, I'm signing off this video. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. Kindly don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for future notifications. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.